It's a good day to wake up after a clean sheet and an away win against a bogey team after the international break. Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome back to Football Therapy. With me, your host, Jan. I do hope you're doing well, mate. Really do hope that. Just had a refresher on Match of the Day of Chelsea's 1-0 win against Bournemouth, where, let's be honest, we got outplayed for large spells of the game. But heck, we outplayed Palace massively and only got away with a draw, so I'll take the balance, the karma, everything becoming right. Huge clean sheet. Don't swear. Clean sheet for Chelsea. First time in about a year. Literally a year since our last away clean sheet, which is absolutely chicken oriental. Anyway, today I'm speaking about some stuff after the game, the fine Chelsea are to receive from the yellow cards, the record amount of yellow cards, a little bit on what the Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca has said about Estevão Willian, of course, the incoming Chelsea winger, doing really well in Brazil and is arriving at Chelsea in now a matter of months. So he spoke on him, and he spoke a little bit on Jadon Sancho. We might end a little bit speaking about Jadon Sancho as well, because yeah, man, what a player. What a player he is. Thanks for joining me as usual. You're all welcome here on the channel. I'm delighted to see you here, mate. Really am. So if you're delighted to see me, or even if you're not, drop a like on the video. And if you're yet to subscribe, heck, why don't you do so? Because we are trying to reach that 200k as quickly as possible, which would be lovely, wouldn't it? Let's get into it. Alright, so Kieran Gill of the Daily Mail tweets this, or posts this on X. New! Chelsea and Bournemouth will be fined £25,000 each by the Football Association for picking up 6 or more cards last night. Both Premier League clubs punished for ill discipline, though some were remarkably soft from referee and dickhead Anthony Taylor. So Chelsea and Bournemouth are being fined for the peculiar trigger-happy Anthony Taylor. Look, I'm not saying that game didn't govern cards. This was the record amount of yellow cards of bookings in a Premier League game ever. I think the last time was the Battle of the Bridge. I might be wrong on that, but I heard it said somewhere. And of course, that was Chelsea-Tottenham to stop them from winning the title. A grudge match between, hated rivals and so much, hanging on at the end of the season. This was an early evening game in the season between Chelsea and Bournemouth when there's nothing really on it. So it was such a weird game for the record to happen, the most amount of yellow cards. But the game itself, there's a few, it wasn't fights and controversy and people beating each other up. It didn't. It simply didn't. It didn't deserve all those yellow cards. It was Anthony Taylor being a so-and-so. Choose the word. Go on, choose the word you're thinking. Say it out loud. Say it now. Actually, don't say it now in case you're in public. Say it in your mind. That's what he is. So we're quite literally paying a fine for his refereeing incompetence. And Bournemouth. Bournemouth as well. And they played well, Bournemouth. Shout out Bournemouth. They're a good side under Iraola, not to be mistaked with the part of your nipple. That's the West Ham goalkeeper. Is he still there? Anyway, I digress. Let's move on, shall we? Alright, so Nizar Kinsella's got some stuff on the BBC about Chelsea, about Enzo Maresca, and he's speaking about Estevão Willian. Shall I give you a little view of Wagwan here? Oh, look, it's not ready on the screen. That is so unlike me. Here we go. So, Nizar Kinsella writing this. There was a bit of fun at the end of Maresca's press conference when a Brazilian journalist asked him about Estevão Willian. The 17-year-old winger was signed for an initial £29 million. And that was when he was 16, I believe, from Palmeiras early in the summer, but remains in his home country ahead of a move to Stamford Bridge when he turns 18. Of course, in the upcoming summer. When asked the left field question about Esteval, who recently made his full international debut, Maresca said this, quote, Yes, we are following him. He is doing fantastic, but unfortunately, he's doing fantastic there and not with us. We are going to wait until next summer when he will arrive here, but we are sure we are very happy in the way he's doing these things. The Italian also joked when asked if he has spoken to the youngster who has about 15 goal involvements in 21 domestic games. That is no joke for a 17-year-old winger. That's crazy. He said this, no, I have so many players, he laughs, I didn't speak to him yet. It was light-hearted after a big 1-0 away win, of course, against Bournemouth, as Maresca survived heavy pressure. Of course, he saw Jadon Sancho impress on his debut, and Nkunku, of course, winning the match off the bench. Yes, indeed. How is Maresca going to fit in Esteval Willian, who is seen as a prodigy, the best thing out of Brazil since Neymar? Which is big pressure, of course. Certainly the one player that will be thinking, I've got to do well, is probably Noni Madueke, because we've all accepted now that Palmer is going to play on the inside, whether it's a conventional number 10 in a 4-2-3-1 like he played yesterday, or if it's in that kind of hybrid 8 role, which is more when Chelsea invert a full back. Nerdy stuff, but he occupies slightly different roles. One thing's for sure is Palmer does his best work when he's playing on the inside a bit more. Though, if there are situations when he has to start on the right wing, I think all of us Chelsea fans will accept that. So, Esteval Willian, he will want to play on the right. Now Amari Hutchinson's gone. Now, Angelo Gabriel is gone. You think it's really Noni, Neto. And Neto, although Neto's like the auxiliary cover for both sides, he does probably slightly his best work on the right. So you might think off the top of the, off the mark that we're quite covered there. But if this kid is such a prodigy, you'll have to fit him in. And Maresca will have to be thinking about this quietly. Obviously the priority is think about what's happening right now in football for Chelsea. But, maybe it's a little thing in your head like, can I make this work for the kid? Let's talk about Sancho. So, the other side of the pitch, the wing, is of course Jadon Sancho coming off the bench at half-time. And guys, if you haven't seen my match review, go check it out. It's an instantaneous, raw, emotive, and hopefully analytical reaction to that game. It's the previous upload to this. You're welcome to go check that out, mate. But, Sancho came off the bench and did really well, actually. Not just the assist. He looked really, really well. He was taking on the fullback loads. He combined with Cucurella really well. And just all round, he won man of the match, which was fun to laugh at Man United fans for. Like, really, off the bench, immediate goal involvement, and man of the match, and Chelsea fans singing his name. Is your 20 million quid, mate. Do you know what I mean? Great fun, terrific banter in the theatre of football. Though, let's be real, probably the man of the match should have been Rob Sanchez in goal. I think Chelsea did their own poll and Rob Sanchez sort of nearly walked it with Sancho in second. Anyway, so Sancho was this is what Maresca said after the game against Bournemouth. First we struggled, the second half we were miles better. We didn't win many balls in the first half, and you need that in this type of stadium against this kind of team. But he spoke about Sancho saying this, quote, he did exactly what we expected from him. And Tosin was the same, and Nkunku, of course, they were substitutions. Felix was also very good. Disagree, but I think Felix is a great player. All the guys from the bench were very, very good. We're creating chances, and we needed just a little bit more quality from inside the box, and Sancho did that. Nkunku is not starting, but he's working very well. If you see the game against Palace, we created many chances, but this is football. We deserve to win. And of course, he went on to speak about Rob Sanchez. Since we started, he's doing very well with us, and we're very happy. He's giving us what we need from a goalkeeper and is doing very well in the build-up, which of course is not a huge thing with Enzo Maresca. Can he be this build-up goalkeeper? And seemingly, he can. He goes on to say he recognises when we need to play long or short. We enjoy the 3 points. I bet you ruddy do. Finally on Jadon Sancho, and I just want to speak a bit more of it. Sancho said this: first of all, it's amazing to make my debut for Chelsea. Just being back, I'm very grateful. The team played very well, and we are happy with the 3 points. I've been working hard for this moment. I'm happy that I got my chance. I had a great lesson last season in being in the Champions League final. I told myself going into this season, I'm just happy to make my debut for Chelsea. I have to thank all the staff. Yeah. Right, on Jadon Sancho a little bit here. Maresca has said, he's been quoted to say he's the type of winger that I said I want. He even said like Noni on the other side, on the left-hand side, which essentially means Sterling maybe is a little bit closer to that, but not so much. But Mudryk, it's not Mudryk, basically. Noni and Mudryk are like very different styles of player. Mudryk wants to run into space. He does. He wants to use his high octane speed and run into space. Noni can slow the game down. He'll take you with him. He'll be like, come on, two players, come on, like bring you out. Let's create space. Let's play make in the final third. That is not Mykhailo Mudryk. We've spoke about Mudryk loads. We're not going to do that today. So he wants someone a little bit like that, Noni, and you get that with Jadon Sancho on the other side. You really, really do. And before Maresca joined Chelsea as manager, it was really, really highlighted the wingers are so important. He plays with conventional wingers. He plays with a conventional striker, but for all his funny tactics like certain phases of build-up play and inverting fullbacks and all that kind of jazz, he likes just proper wingers, like chalk on the boots. Like he'd probably really like Bukayo Saka as well. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of winger. So, yes. He's got that in Jadon Sancho. He's got that in Noni Madueke. And I think Jadon Sancho is... I said recently, I think he'll become a starter for Chelsea. He'll be a starter. And after yesterday, I mean... Look, Pedro, I don't want to It's so tough with Chelsea, right? It's so tough because we've got so many good players. Pedro Neto, I was the most excited about in terms of signing. Sancho was an exciting one at the end. But Pedro Neto was the obvious, he's Premier League proven. He's tormented Man City and Chelsea and all that before, and now he can play with us and be better. And Joao Felix, he's a great player, Joao Felix. That we got for a good deal. Neto was probably about right. Not certainly we weren't fleeced or we didn't overpay for Neto. It was probably about right. But Joao Felix was a good deal. And Sancho, who looks like over both Neto and Felix, looks like the nailed-on starter. And this guy can cost us 20 million quid. Maybe it will go up to 25 million quid if he, plays loads of games and scores loads of goals and the add-ons are met. But still, 25 million quid for this guy. And I take you back, guys. I was doing videos on Jadon Sancho 4 or 5 years ago on this channel about him coming to Chelsea when he was a teenager. Of course, he's 24 now. So it was meant to be. It was fated. It was Destiny. So I'm very, very, very pleased with it. I think he should be a starter. Obviously, I don't want to get too overexcited about one cameo off the bench, but seemingly he just suits. And I do want to spend a little bit of time speaking about Christopher Nkunku as well, actually. You watch this channel, you'll know that I'm a fan of certain players. I'm a big Wesley Fofana fan. Of course, he'd made a couple of big mistakes yesterday and had a poor preseason for Chelsea, and indeed hasn't been perfect at the beginning of this season, but he's also shown great signs of creating a very promising partnership with Levi Colwill, who's been largely excellent for Chelsea. Incredible passing statistics from Levi Colwill. Big fans of them both, but in terms of style, I really like Fofana. And Nkunku, I was so gassed when we signed Nkunku. All last season, I kept speaking about him. I got criticised by not all of you, some of you in the, in the comments saying why, why are you banging on about this guy? And then he played a bit, and then apparently I was overhyping him and stuff. But he really is truly an elite finisher, and that's been throughout his recent, the latter years in his career, how he plays football, his intelligence, and indeed he demonstrated immense strength yesterday, finishing off that chance, that ball. Great through ball from Sancho for the assist, but just the way he sort of leaned. He's not a massive guy in Nkunku, but he's intelligent with his strength. And I know Eden Hazard will be watching that with his son who sleeps in an Nkunku jersey, loving that, because he's not an Eden Hazard style player massively in Nkunku. He's more of a move finisher, less of a playmaker like Hazard, but he's got that kind of diminutive strength where he knows how to use his body. He hasn't got the big bum like Eden Hazard, which, the John McGinn, which you can protect the ball with. But he's the way he leaned on players, he's just really intelligent how he uses his body in Nkunku. And he knows where the goal is. He just turns and shoots, and he can, use both feet. He can score a scrappy goal. He can score a rifle goal. He can do a glancing header. I really, really, really feel that we need to find a way to get Nkunku into this Chelsea team. But it's tough because he's not a winger. He's not a winger. And you lose so much of him when he plays out wide. If we were in a really tough situation and our 1,000 wingers that we have now were all injured and he plays out wide, you're like, yeah, cool, fine. Although you'd probably actually play Jackson out wide and then Nkunku down the middle. He's still a great footballer on the pitch, right? But it's really hard to utilise him like that. He's not really a number 10, especially in this Enzo Maresca system where he's looking to a Cole Palmer to play as a sort of playmaking number 10. And Nkunku's not that. He's more cloak and dagger. He's really a second striker, you know. I'm trying to think of like what kind of Chelsea team he would have done best in. Maybe in Conte's second season, where we played a 3-5-2. So we had loads of creativity. Fabregas started in the midfield of Kante, and I suppose Matic has gone. Let's just say Matic stayed, and it was Matic, Kante, Fabregas, and let's say Diego Costa stayed, and he was the striker. So you've got wing backs, you've got that creativity in midfield, and you've got a proper like bullying striker to play off in Costa. That would have been perfect for Nkunku to be the second striker. Big man, little man. He's the little man, but he's a strong little man. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of like, again, to utilise another example stylistically, I thought he would have worked really well under Pochettino before the season started. Of course, he was injured for a lot of the season. I thought he was going to play in that, you know, Tottenham 2016 Dele Alli role, that sort of shadow striker of Kane. I'd be like, yeah, you know, that would have been perfect for Nkunku. So I am worried a little bit. And I guess the only obvious solution in the Maresca system is as a centre forward. Really, playing because he needs to play down the middle. That's where he likes to turn and combine, and that's where he gets involved and scores goals. If you're going to play in a way where he has to hold up the ball and play as a number 9, you're screwed. But if you're playing towards goal and you're transitioning up the pitch, then he can play as a striker. Although I'm not entirely sure that's how Maresca wants to play because he wants the ball a lot in control. So it is tough, man. It's tough. I want your thoughts, so comment down below on Sancho and Nkunku, the other attackers, who you feel's done well. Esteval, indeed, everyone. But I'm feeling good at the moment. I'm looking forward to the upcoming games. So thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing and commenting and sharing the video. And I hope to see you back here soon. Mwah. Peace.